Hey, good morning, everyone.
Morning.
We're going to go ahead and start this committee meeting as a whole, and this is for the investigation. Today, we're looking at May the 28th, 2024, 8:41 a.m. And six councilmen present, Councilman Carroll, Days, Woods, Reynolds, and Vice President Gregory, along with our attorney, Chief of Staff, uh, City Clerk Office, and residents and the media. I'm gonna go ahead and ask Josh to open up, then Reynolds, then followed by our attorney. And by that time, I think we should be live zooming by that time. Okay, Mr. Woods.
I guess was it Friday afternoon, Mike? Yeah, Friday afternoon. Was disseminated engagement letter for Bradley Arendt.
A little bit close to the mic, Mr.
Oh,
Woods.
sorry. The letter was disseminated through emails to everybody. It's an engagement letter, and I mean it really kind of just lays out everything that led to this point or gets us to this point. So I mean, I really outside of that engagement letter.
Josh, I want to make clear too, I don't think Bradley has finally approved that, so I don't think we can
Okay.
disseminate it until we get final word from them.
Okay, perfect. So I mean, I guess the resolutions. What we're
I expect that to be the substance of it, but their committee has to approve it, as I understand
okay.
it too.
I got you.
Anything else, Mr. Woods?
That's really kind of where we're at, I guess.
Mr. Reynolds.
Councilman Woods and our city attorney, Mr. Linder, we conducted a search on behalf of the city council committee as a whole to try to put forward some qualified applicants. You guys were sent a group of two. We sort of lost interest from one of the attorneys. So we feel comfortable putting forward the Bradley Arendt. What is the whole?
Bradley Arendt, Bolt and Cummings.
There you go. Bradley Arendt, Bolt and Cummings firm as the firm to conduct the investigation. There's nothing binding in this. There's nothing that requires the city council committee as a whole to use this firm. But Councilman Woods and I feel comfortable with them, their experience. They provided a fairly extensive detail of their experience in these sort of matters, amongst others, which we have gotten approval from them to make public. We also received a conflict.
Could you also just go ahead and highlight, just for people that's watching it, just highlight it right quick, the reasons why.
Okay. They proposed to have two of the group's partners, Bill Athanas, which should join us here this morning, and Daniel Fortune serve as the lead lawyers on the matter. They're both former federal prosecutors and have conducted or supervised numerous investigations similar in nature to this engagement, including those involving current and former state and federal officials, as well as employees of large municipalities such as mayors, members of city councils, chiefs of police, and other appointed or elected officials. Those investigations involved a broad range of allegations, including corruption, civil rights violations, fraud, and various other alleged misconduct. Mr. Athanas and Mr. Fortune also regularly lead internal investigations for clients, frequently testing the allegations of both anonymous and identified whistleblowers. In that role, they are asked to examine would-be whistleblower complaints and make assessments regarding their merit. With Bradley's breadth, the firm's breadth of experience in this area, combined with its investigatory resources, it will have no issue planning and executing the proposed investigation and reporting its findings within 45 days. That is from them, and there is, another page and a half, of specific experience.
And then that's good, Mr. Reynolds. But just asking the question to you and Councilman Woods, you all do feel like this particular firm is non-biased?
Well, that is on a separate document. So you don't really know, I guess, but we've asked them to provide everything they could up front to us if there are any conflicts that exist, both currently or in the past. And I'll just read from their conflict review. Let's see. As you requested, I'm writing to confirm several points based on review of available records. As a threshold matter, please note that Bradley does not currently represent the city of Mobile or any of the individuals or entities identified below. In addition, the current Bradley lawyers who will be working on this matter have never represented the city of Mobile or any of the individuals or entities identified below. And then it goes on to say, number one, Bradley does not currently represent and has not represented in the past any of the following individuals or entities. A, William Sandy Stimson. B, Gulf Trading LLC. C, James Barber. D, Robert Lasky, Ricardo Woods, Paul Prine, Mobile Airport Authority, Mobile Planning Commission, Metropolitan Planning Commission, or any of the boards and commissions appointed by the council listed on the City of Mobile organizational chart dated January 24, 2024, and contained on the city's website. Then item 2, they go a bit further to identify where they have in the past had some ancillary involvement. Bradley lawyers, other than those who will be involved in this matter, will have in the past, but do not currently represent any of the following entities, and it's got them listed. Mobile Education Building Authority, they represented them in October of 1984. Mobile Community Development Authority, back in March of 1990. City of Mobile Solid Waste Authority, June of 1993. Public Building Authority of the City of Mobile, March of 94. City of Mobile in October of 96. Mobile Area and Water Sewer Commission, March 2006. Mobile Airport Authority, February of 2007. Mobile Housing Authority, April 2008. 3, Bradley considers the Industrial Development Board of the City of Mobile to be an entity legally separate and distinct from the City of Mobile. Please note that Bradley previously represented that entity on 2 separate matters. Firm's work on the most recent of those matters ended in April of 1998, and none of the lawyers who would work on this engagement had any involvement in those matters. So, as you can imagine, in the City of Mobile, they deal with, and all these various entities deal with law firms basically across the state. And so, I think this one sort of fits the bill because, its involvement that it has had, with some entity in some way is so far gone. And then we've sort of put this ethical sort of shield that any lawyer who was involved with those matters are not going to be involved with this matter. So, and again, there's nothing binding that says we have to use this at this firm, but I feel confident or comfortable with them, and hopefully we'll get to speak with Bill Athanas here this morning, so everybody can sort of get a feel for him.
So far that what I have read and, and hearing from you and also Councilman Woods, I believe, and then especially we're looking at time, I believe that this firm here is really going to be sound like it's going to be the best for us at this particular time. My recommendation is for us to pretty much just, agree to go ahead and hire this firm, and at least we get that out of the way before they can go ahead and start working on this process. Anyone, Vice President Carol Days. Carol. Vice President. Okay. All right. I would like to hear from our attorney about the resolution. Anything any council member want to ask our attorney about the resolution that's before us today? Or does he want to speak on it?
Yeah, I circulated a new draft of it this morning. It's based on the one we introduced last week, but puts a little bit more meat on the bone, and we would propose to have the documents that Councilmember Reynolds just read as an exhibit to this, as well as assuming as soon as we get final authority, the engagement letter for Bradley A. Rand from Mr. Athanas. Bill, can you hear us? Okay, we can't hear you though. Bill, can you?
All right, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Hey.
And just make sure your desktop is still muted.
All right. Good morning, Bill. Can you hear us? Looks like the phone is muted.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I believe we can hear you through your desktop now. We couldn't earlier. If you turn the desktop on and keep the phone muted, or you can disconnect from the phone. He was having difficulties this morning. And you can unmute the desktop.
There we go.
How about that? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, great.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Bill.
Okay, I can just barely hear you.
Okay. All right, we can hear you pretty well, Bill. Do you have any introductory remarks or anything?
I'm sorry, say again?
Can you hear me now, Bill?
Perfectly now, yes.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah, Bill, good morning. If you would just maybe introduce yourself to the council and people present, and if you got any introductory remarks.
Sure. Good morning. Thank you for the time to be with me here today. My name is Bill Thanis. I'm a partner at Bradley Aram in our Birmingham office. I've been with this firm about 5 months. Before that, I was in private practice with another law firm for about 14 years. Before that, I was in the attorney's office in Birmingham. Before that, I was in the criminal division of the fraud section of Supreme Justice in Washington, D.C. I've practiced law for about 30 years and really only ever done white-collar matters, both as a federal prosecutor and as an attorney in private practice, defending those cases. A significant part of what I do involves not only defending investigations, but conducting them on behalf of clients, either public or private sector clients. This is a type of matter that sort of is similar to many I've handled, right, where there is some question as to exactly what happened among a number of public officials, and it's necessary to dig in and figure out the events that occurred. As I've discussed with Michael, I think this is a case where it's particularly important that the process be not only comprehensive but transparent. As I understand, just from reading publicly available information and reporting, the primary motivator behind this engagement is to restore public trust in the processes by which decisions are made regarding former Chief Prine and other senior officials in the city of Mobile. In order to do that, I think it's critically important that the process by which Chief Prine's allegations are investigated be not only very thorough, but also very transparent. So ultimately, if you're contemplating a written report, which I think is the appropriate means of addressing this matter, that report has to be very light on conclusions that are not tethered to specific facts. And what I mean by that is, in this type of report, I would contemplate not only questioning a significant number of individuals, but also making sure that the report was tethered directly to what they said. And obviously, we can't fill with exact detail everything that happened. We're going to have to draw some conclusions. But in terms of making findings about the merits of his allegations, we think it's critically important that somebody who read the report, even if they disagree with the ultimate conclusions, have confidence in the manner in which those conclusions were reached. And as I understand it, that is the mandate. I think that's something we're particularly well suited to do and to provide services for. Happy to answer any questions you all may have and recognize the gravity of the decision you have to make. It's an unfortunate situation. And we stand ready to assist as needed.
Anyone, I guess we'll have to get closer to the computer. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone?
We're seeing if there's any questions from the council. Bill, hold on one sec.
I have a question.
Yeah, just go ahead and direct it. Yeah.
Good morning.
He can't hear you.
Stand by.
What do I have to do?
You're
I
going
have
to
to
tell.
ask Michael to say it for you, or you can say it back on his end.
Good morning, Mr. Athanas.
Good morning.
My name is Joel Daves. I'm one of the city councilmen, and I appreciate you being with us today and your willingness to undertake this engagement. I think it's important, and I know you understand this, but I think it's important to reiterate that the objective of the investigation is to identify any conduct with respect to these 4 areas that are in the resolution that was illegal, unethical, or contrary to city policy. And so your engagement is limited to identifying any areas that would, as I said, be illegal, unethical, or contrary to city policy. Not ideas of how things might have been done better, but just things that would be fall into one of those categories. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely understand that and agree that to the extent that any report or assessment kind of wanders into a subjective opinion on whether in hindsight things could have been done differently, that's not a report that's of value and likely frankly to do more harm than good. So understand fully the mandate and the expectation and the framework that is to be applied.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
Michael, I'll just relay this to you. Just want to make sure that Bill is aware that upon passage of our resolution, that he's off to the races and the 45-day clock's running. Make sure that's his understanding.
Yeah. Bill, Councilman Reynolds wants to be real clear that once we adopt, assuming that's what happens today, and we think there's a good chance of it, but once we adopt a resolution, if we were hiring you and this were to begin, we'd be off and running and we would have this resolved within 45 days. Is that correct?
That is correct. We frankly have already been working, understanding that the decision has not yet been made, but on the expectation and belief that if we were engaged, you would want us to be moving quickly. We want to make sure we're ready to do that. So we're ready to go when you tell us to go, and we understand fully not only the expectations, but the requirement that we be done in 45 days.
And in fact, Bill, I believe you told me you've already reviewed the reports that have already been done. Is that correct?
I've already read them all, and I've got my questions, so we're ready to go.
Hey, Michael, are there any other documents that he is requesting of the city to send in?
Bill, what are there any documents or anything you need from the city in the very near term?
Yeah, so I have the reports that are publicly available. Some of them are redacted to some degree, to the extent it is possible to get unredacted copies. That would be helpful. Additionally, it's not clear whether Chief Prime, with his complaints, supplied any documents in support. To the extent he did, those would be helpful. And then finally, I note that in the reports there are references to grievances that he filed. I don't know if that was a formal process or if that is simply an email that he sent to Rob Lasky or others or Mayor Simpson. To the extent that there is some memorialization of the concerns that he would have started to voice back in the fall of 2023, it would be very helpful to get those. I expect we would want to talk to the former Chief Prime as soon as possible to understand fully the basis for the complaints that he raised, but anything we could get ahead of that would be very helpful.
Is there anything else?
No.
All right, Bill. One thing I wanted to clear up, Bill, is on On the engagement letter issue, are we ready to go on that?
Yes, if you're good with it, I can put it in final form. I wanted you to be able to see it in draft to the extent you or the council members had any questions or concerns.
No, that's great. Could you just prepare it to be executed in tandem on our end, both by the council president and the city clerk?
Yes, we'll do it.
Thank you. Thank you, Bill.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. A few matters I think is worth discussing or need to be discussed. Number one, the budget that we put forward on the existing resolution was a total budget of $100,000. It's our understanding that this firm doesn't expect that they're going to be able to get it done for $100,000. They have a confidence level that they're going to be able to get it done between 100 and 150. Is that correct? Plus expense?
That's correct. Somewhere their expenses, they believe, will come to about 100 to 150, and then expenses, I would think it'd be prudent to budget about, another 25%, 33%, a third to a quarter more at least over that for expenses, and then hopefully we come in under that.
Okay, so, that's something that the council, really needs to decide if, that's a suitable budget. And, the floor will be open for any amendments to the existing resolution. Second to that is, it's the authorities in 1144C87 of investigations into municipal affairs. It says, the council or the mayor shall have power to inquire into the conduct of any office, department, agency, or officer of the city and to make investigations as to municipal affairs, and for that purpose may subpoena witnesses, administer oaths, and compel the production of books, papers, and other evidence. It seems that this firm is prepared to act on this, but I don't know that we have the authority to say necessarily delegate this power to them. Michael's going to be looking into that. So, if a subpoena is required for their investigation, it's my understanding that it would be required for the council to approve that subpoena. I may be wrong on that. There's probably a legal opinion that's necessary so that, the firm should put together their list of subpoenas. Of course, they have to understand the facts. Maybe they conduct investigations. I don't know how they go about doing it, but that's something to consider. And then the third item would be approval of expenses. I think the resolution should state something of how those approvals will work and how they align with the Zogby Act, so on and so forth. I think the resolution should probably reflect that in some way. Are we going to defer the authority to the council president, or what? I guess that all needs to be decided.
And that all needs to go into the group today.
You're talking about the budgeting authority or where it comes down for subpoena authority?
Well, all the above, but.
Well, somebody's got to approve an invoice.
Yeah, I would say to try to keep it separate, non-biased, that we try to keep the Atchison firm away from it much as possible. And just let them pretty much, like I said, let Michael, or Mr. Linder be our contact person, but just try to keep them separate as much as possible.
And I think once if a resolution's been passed authorizing a budget and all that, I think it can all be submitted to the clerk's office and then routed through that way as well. But I do not intend to and don't believe I really can be a substantive part of the investigation, but I'll be happy to coordinate as far as admin and logistics on things go.
I think it's just important, as Bill laid out, that, we're transparent as possible, where, we try to separate ourselves, keep the politics and personalities out of it, and, let him do his job, and not any one of us are directing, oh, you need to look at this, or you need to look at that, or, there's no one person on the city council that should be directing any of that.
Question though too is if Bill or his team has any questions or needs anything, will that go to Michael or would it go to CJ and the clerk? How are we going to handle that?
I believe that it should just go through Michael, and Michael probably just contact, myself and the clerk. But I think we need to keep Michael in the midst of it since he's our attorney.
Like I said, I'll be a point of contact. I'll facilitate things and everything. I'm just not going to be a part of the investigation. It's just if they need something or if there's questions that need to be resolved on a higher level, then we'll do that.
Forward to whoever needs. Okay.
Exactly right.
As far as what we're doing today, Ben, do you have amendments that you want to make or do you have a substitute or anything?
I believe Michael has some changes that he's been working on that, he will distribute to everyone. As far as addressing the three items that I brought up, how subpoenas would be handled if they are in fact necessary, approval of expenses, and the first one, I don't recall. But we'll have Michael create a new copy, but the budget item.
Look at the budget.
I guess there's two ways you can handle it. You can leave the budget exactly where it is, and then at any time they think it's insufficient, they can come back to us. It's just a matter of we want to handle it that way, or if we want to go ahead and place a number on the budget of, say, 200,000 or 150 or whatever it is, and just get it done now.
I've talked a little bit to Mr. Woods, the city attorney, Mr. Woods, about this. And again, we can't be too specific about the line item on it. That's going to have to be something that's negotiated with the administration on that one, but we can set the general budget within this.
I would say just go ahead and do the 200 because we all know that things boomerang around this place. So let's just get it out there, do it. Because I don't want to touch this for another for 45 days. So I think we just go ahead, get them set, give them the car keys, and tell them to check in when they're checking later.
Totally agree. Anything else, Mr. Linder?
No, I think that's it for now.
So just coordinate with Lana and Lisa on what we need to be looking
What's
at.
going to be introduced
Yes,
or an
yes.
amendment to the
Right,
offer.
right.
Anything else, Mr. Reynolds? Mr. Wood? Mr. Carroll? Mr. Day? Vice President?
Good.
All right. We'd look to hear from Michael. We're going to just take a 5-minute break, and then we'll go ahead and start our pre-conference. It's 9:08, 9, 10, 11, 12, 9:15.
Okay.